We build technology, and we are heading and we are leading a revolution. As you may know, any revolution is just the impossible waiting to be challenged. And this is how we challenge the impossible. This is how we are actually challenging the impossible. So this is how we are defeating climate change. So we are building technology to create the biggest and most impactful green energy community in Europe by unleashing the full potential of electrifying energy demand, leveraging proximity network, and scaling solar, distributed, and storage. This is how energy is produced and consumed in Spain and in most of our countries. So it gets produced at scale in very polluting, inefficient systems, centralized and oligopolistic, that really take insane costs for T&D. So logistics are very expensive. For a residential customer in Spain, for a low tension customer below 15 kilowatts of capacity contracted, it's over 75 euros per megawatt hour, the logistics that you have to pay for the usage of the wires and also for the Joule effects. So we are building technology to move or to complement that system together with decentralized systems. So what we do is that we are creating, or we've created already over the last 13 years, this energy management platform that allow us to manage all the electricity that is produced in an energy system, a home energy system, PV solar, batteries, EV car, and connect it through the proximity network that is defined in Spain, anything connected besides the next 2,000 meters, and therefore we skip the T&D cost. Meaning that this distributed system that is, of course, supported by this technology and the data layer really has a competitive advantage in cost of 75 euros per megawatt hour for a residential customer, which is insane. Because as of today, the next 12 months of forward curves price for electricity, it's around between 50 and 75. So meaning that we are kind of skipping 50% of the total cost that a residential customer should pay. Who of you own solar panels? Battery? EV car? Heat pump? Okay, good news for all of you, because if you were to move to Spain, this is how your energy bill would look like. Over 20 years, a residential household is spending almost 90,000 euros in all their energy consumption. If you move your regular system as of today and you install distributed solar, you skip 100% of your electricity bill. If you put storage, if you move to the electric car, then you also skip the 33,000 bucks. And if you move to the heat pump, you will reduce your whole energy bill and all the different kind of energies down to zero. So, and besides in Spain, so food is good, as Mark already knows, and we have 1,400 hours of sun per year. So this is how it looks like, right? If we plug all these systems into our energy management platform, we plug in the PV solar, we plug in the batteries, we plug in the car, we plug in the heat pump. This is how the magic happens. This is how we are able to deliver such an amazing amount of savings to every residential. Besides, the electrification of energy demand, it's going to happen. So according to the International Energy Agency, electricity demand will ramp up and will get multiplied by almost 3 by the end of 2050. So meaning it's going to be an insane amount of electricity needed, thanks to the penetration of EV and also for heat pumps as well. That, together with the fact that also the International Energy Agency says that the fastest way to deploy renewable assets, it's going to be distributed generation, distributed solar. Why? Because the assets are already there. We already own the rooftops. We already have the hundreds, thousand numbers of sunny hours per year. We already have the wires, so the proximity network to plug them in. And we already have the people, the demand that it's there in the kilometer zero, in distributed, right? Therefore, that's going to be the fastest way to deploy these renewable resources. In fact, the International Energy Agency, they reviewed their forecasting from last year, and they put it up by 46%. So meaning that electricity demand is going to ramp up. Distributed solar is going to be the one that grows the fastest because it's the way to deploy fastest these renewable resources. And yet, in Spain, we are suffering, just as every other solar-related company all across the globe. How could it be? Because still in Spain, the penetration for residential solar is below 4%, whereas in other countries, such as in the UK, that you know that you don't get so many sun, yeah? So the penetration is over 20–25%. So the targets, the objectives, so total addressable market is over 10 million potential and technically available rooftops. We are now below 400,000, so meaning roughly 4% penetration. So the government expects at least to be in the range of 15 to 20% by the end of 2030. 2030 is the day after tomorrow, so it's going to happen right away. And how could it be that solar-related companies like us are suffering? And it's because of two things, no? The first thing is because of high interest rates. So most of those solar energy systems got financed by commercial banking. And second thing, because the incumbents are playing catenaccio. So I'm a soccer lover. And they are trying to convince us to take the wrong pill in metrics, right? So they are trying to convince us that it's still the old way, the nice way, and the most efficient way to produce, consume, distribute, and manage electricity all along the way. But you know what? Peter Drucker once said that resilience is second name to entrepreneurship, no? How many entrepreneurs here in the room? So, of course, resilience is our second name, no? And that's how we made it throughout 23. So we've got a very, very bad first quarter because of the drop of the demand by 50%, 50, all of the sun from December to 22 to January 23. And then we made it to 23. And we did 4.3 adjusted EBITDA accumulated for the year. But if we do the last 12 months, meaning that replacing Q1 23 by Q1 24, so the number goes up to 22 million, so LTM. How? By focusing in three things, no? First thing, profitable growth. So we've been focusing in unit economics and in delivering the most savings to the most profitable customers because it's the way that customers get more out of their investment, and therefore we also make more margin because the installations are bigger, especially if we get a huge attachment on batteries. Second thing, we focused on cost, and we cut, compared to the last year, 30 million in cost for doing more or less the same profit. This is meant resilience. And the third thing about how do we do things, no? And how do we do things? It's also very, very important because we focus on happy customers. We are 41% women in the team, #1 worldwide in ESG, because it's all about the how as well to change the world. Maybe you want to be part of this challenging the impossible. If it were to be the case, if you want to challenge the impossible by joining the rooftop revolution, we are raising 20 million to keep on fostering the energy transition in Spain. We are going to be available through investors at holaluz.com or through the magnificent NOAH app. Thank you very much.
Thank you.